Hi, I'm Ellie Hagan
And I'm Dan Hagan.
of Body and Balance Rehabilitation.
And you're watching South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux.
Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Thank you for joining us as we share information, tips, and techniques that can make our business community and your business more successful. Thank you to Stockton University for the opportunity to produce this show focusing on business in South Jersey. In just a moment, we will talk with Ellie Hagan of Body and Balance Physical Therapy and Fitness Center located in Linwood, New Jersey. I have known Ellie and her husband Dan since they started their business back in 2005. I have watched over the past 13 years as they have grown their business. The Hagans are committed to providing each and every patient with a timely, effective rehabilitation program. Their experienced therapists come from diverse clinical backgrounds and possess the understanding and enthusiasm to support patients safely through their recovery. So let's get right down to business with today's featured guest. Ellie, welcome to South Jersey Business.
Thank you for having me.
Can you talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, maybe that light bulb moment that might have went off that said, I want to start my own business?
Well, after working for corporate America for about 10 years, I knew I had a desire to have my own business so that I could implement my own ideas into my own practice. And so I started very small with a little bit of a home business and became frustrated because I couldn't put all my energy into it. I was still working for corporate America. So I convinced my husband that we needed to try this, and we went to one of your business meetings, and he decided that yes, we could. I had his support.
That's always so important to get the
Yes.
family support. I think it's something people struggle with, but it sounds like you had it from the beginning and you grew
Yes.
into something really great. Speaking of growing into something great, you offer so many great services and programs at your operation, at your business. Can you talk a little bit about how you managed to provide all those programs and services?
The first year I began with just physical therapy, and then I gradually brought in occupational therapy and then speech therapy. We even at one point had a doctor coming in and treating our Parkinson patients. However, that doctor had to move on to a new position. We have diverse services. We actually bring some education into the workforce by asking different professionals if they would come in and speak about nutrition and health benefits and so on and so forth. And we also offer classes for people, Tai Chi, yoga, balance classes, boxing classes, anything that we feel that will benefit our customers.
Ellie, what you do to help people every day is so important. And helping people be healthier every day brings a lot of benefits, I'm sure. But what other challenges come with that?
Challenges in the health field business or arena there are many, but I find the most challenging is when people they're on fixed incomes, they have difficulty with transportation and getting to the services that I provide. And also when they take many medications, and they have many comorbidities, those comorbidities can affect their ability to get well in a reasonable time span, that their health care may ask them, you have 4 weeks to do this, and they've been like this for 40 years, so now I have to try to fix them in 4 weeks. So that's a challenge, but mostly it's that these people have difficulty understanding that exercise is so important.
How do you stay on top of all the current trends in the world of rehabilitation?
That's also hard, but when you listen to your clients, you stay abreast on the newest and the best exercises for the populations that you're taking care of. It's not that difficult.
I have one final question for the segment. How much do you enjoy what you do every day?
I love what I do every day. I feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives. So for that, I'm grateful.
I want to thank you for sharing some of your backstory, and I'm looking forward to the next part of the segments.
Thank you.
Up next, we're going to dig a bit deeper and explore the passion and success of Ellie Hagen, founder and owner of Body and Balanced. Stay tuned. South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux will be right back after this short break. We're back with today's featured guest, Ellie Hagen, founder and owner of Body and Balance. Ellie, how do you describe success?
That's a hard question. Success means creating a business that empowers my employees and the community. But I would also say that success is making a difference in people's lives.
It's a great answer. Speaking of success, how did you go about making the decision to continue to grow the business? Because you're always adding new programs and new services.
I always believed that I had a vision that I wrote when I wrote my first business plan, and that vision included my hopes and dreams for my business. So I knew I had to grow the business to be able to reach those dreams.
You have a very dynamic group of individuals that work with
Yes,
you, and
I
it
do.
seems like you always have. How do you continue to not only find but manage those people to ensure that they continue to stay with Body and Balance?
I have not always had that group. It was a learning experience. I had the wrong people. I went through a lot of people in the beginning, the first year. But I have managed to attract the right people. They contact me, or God just brings them to me. They walk into my life, and I know they're right for my business. They have the empathy and the work ethics that are needed to be successful.
That's so important.
Yes.
What's one of the most important business lessons you've learned in operating Body and Balance?
This is where I look at cliches, because there is a cliche that says slow and steady wins the race. I want everything yesterday.
Okay.
And my husband is a patient man. He's waiting for it to happen next year, and I want it yesterday. So the balance there is I have learned to be a little more patient. I've also learned to trust my instincts. And I have also learned to get the right people working with me. My team members are vital.
Those are all very important business lessons. While you've been building this business over the past 13 plus years, you've also built a family and continue to manage a family. How do you balance the needs of work with the needs of family?
I have to give credit to my husband for that. He has helped me there. I have a handicapped daughter, and he makes sure that she gets to go to the doctors and gets her MRIs and gets her medication. And he was a bachelor for 40 years, so if he sees laundry that needs to be washed, he washes it. He's not waiting for me to do everything.
I'm going to ask you another question. You get the joy and pleasure of working with someone you're actually married to each and every day. Now, while I'm sure there's challenges, tell me about some of the best parts of that, of working together every day.
Working for a common goal, knowing that we're working for to ensure my daughter's future.
That's great. Your location, when you decided to locate in Linwood, New Jersey, that was definitely a strategic choice,
Yes, it
centrally
was.
located. Did you look at a bunch of properties before you centered on that
Of
one?
course, yes, yes. But my husband really thought that I was going to have a little storefront somewhere. He never envisioned this kind of an endeavor. So I think I caused him some sleepless nights. But I think we made the right decision.
Your space is built out beautifully. It's very functional. It's easy to access. All those important things that go with a physical therapy business. So I want to congratulate you on the location and the space that you operate in.
Thank you.
It's very well done. What is one of the things you enjoy most about working with the people and, of course, providing the people the services that you do at Body and Balance?
I've realized that every day is a gift. I work with a lot of people who are very challenged with their medical conditions, and I just believe that having them trust me with their health makes me feel wonderful.
Ellie, that was a great answer. And I want to thank you for being part of South Jersey Business.
Thank you for having me.
You know who's coming up next?
Who?
Your husband, Dan Hagan.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned as we will put Dan Hagan of Body and Balance to the test with the M4 Big Money question when we return with more South Jersey Business. As you are aware, management, marketing, money, and media are the essential parts of any business. And when you are all about rehabilitation and balance, you need to know how to mix up and balance all 4 M's. So it's time for the M4 Big Money question with one of today's featured guests, Dan Hagan of Body and Balance. Dan, welcome to today's show.
Thanks for having me here, Joe. I appreciate it.
Well, why don't we break them down? Let's talk about your management style.
My management style is kind of quiet in some ways. I'm not overbearing, or at least I try not to be, but I try to still oversee everything. As my wife had mentioned earlier, we've got a great staff. So that's why, for me, management is probably the easiest part of the job. We have people who listen when you tell them to do something. They don't take it as, okay, the boss is ordering me around. They realize that it's part of the business, so they're going to do what they're told. But at the same time, I really don't have to worry about them too much as far as them not knowing what to do. So it makes it much easier.
It sounds like you have a great work environment there. So let's move on to the second M, which is marketing, traditional forms. What sort of marketing do you use to market Body and Balance?
We started out just doing print initially. After a little while, we realized we had to try and expand that a little bit, so we went into radio. And we still have a little bit of both, but we've tried to expand that beyond that, even to doing just a little bit of television, as obviously we're here today doing this. So, but still primarily print and radio.
They're both strong forms of traditional media that are still working. That's great.
Yeah.
Third M, most people don't like to talk about it, but it's part of the M4. So let's talk about money, your feelings on them, or how money affects your business.
Obviously, it has an effect. We started the business by going to the SBA Association, got an SBA loan. You were involved with that with us. You gave us great guidance. And that was a big help. So I would recommend anybody that's going into business for themselves to look into that, check into the Small Business Association. So that was our start. We have a nice relationship with the local bank, so that's very helpful. And money's obviously a worry. You need to have enough to keep the business going, but you can't center everything around money. You have to be a little bit more diverse than that.
That's right. That's a great answer. And thank you for the tips for other people. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. Fourth M, media. It's such an important part, not just PR and getting coverage from the media itself, but social media.
Yeah.
How important is that to your business right now?
Tremendously, and I'm being a little bit older. I don't have the savvy that a lot of the younger people have, so that's been a learning experience with me. But we really started a couple of years ago focusing a little bit more on that. We're in Facebook, obviously the LinkedIn, the different things that are necessary in today's business. But that's definitely a learning experience, and because it changes so quickly too. So, but we are getting more and more involved in doing the social work or social aspect of the business.
Having seen your space and the work that's done there, it's a very visual environment. Mm-hmm. And I know you have plenty of pictures on Facebook and LinkedIn and on your website, but how important is getting those smiling faces, those healthy faces, as well as the space that they work in out on social media? How important is that?
It's important because people are going to go on that to see what your facility looks like. If they see people smiling, obviously they know that you've taken pictures, you're going to try and put your best foot forward. But I think they can still see when somebody's got a fake smile on, so it does make a difference. We do a lot of pictures with the clients that come in, the patients that are coming in to get help, and combine that with the person that's giving them help just to give them a little bit more of a relaxed type of feeling, because they're coming in and some of them have some serious pain. So it's tough.
My final question would be, of all the 4 M's that we talked about, which one is your favorite?
Got to be marketing. which I would have never given you that answer 10 years ago, because I had marketing, you do a few things and you put it out there. I had no clue how important it is. You have to constantly get the word out, the name of your business, what you do, and trying to get it out to as big an audience as possible.
I want to thank you for answering the M4 Big Money question today, Dan.
Great to be here, Joe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. There you have it. Dan Hagan of Body and Balance's successfully rehabilitated mix of management, marketing, money, and media. We'll be right back with today's business drill on South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Welcome back. On today's business drill, we will reflect on a few lessons we've learned from the rehabilitation industry with some well-balanced tips to help your business grow. Here is developing a balanced business. Today's guest reminded me there are so many things that need to be balanced when it comes to business. And this need to balance is sometimes overtaken by other pressing issues within a business. A non-balanced approach to business usually creates problems. Balance vision and action. It is so important to have vision and to always be planning. However, if you're always planning, you may not be moving forward in business. Be sure to balance your vision and planning with the appropriate actions to make that vision a reality. Balance positivity and reality. There are always reasons to be positive in business. Looking for a silver lining can help keep positivity in your business alive and well. It is also important to make sure you're realistic in the way you view your business every day. Balance your financials. This is key when running a successful business. Your financials, cash flow, and accounting is the lifeblood that feeds your actions and your activities. It is not called a sometimes it doesn't balance sheet for a reason. Seek professional help if needed, but always balance the numbers. Balance today and tomorrow. Today could be the best or worst day for your business. Everything could go right or everything could go wrong. Or sometimes something could occur between those two extremes. Take care of your business today and every day, while maintaining the drive and dedication to do it again tomorrow. So let's take a moment to recap this week's drill. Number 1, balance vision and action. Number 2, balance positivity and reality. Number 3, balance your financials. And number 4, balance today and tomorrow. So there you have it, 4 quick tips to help you in developing a balanced business for this week's business drill. Kelly, at your CPA firm, what types of services do you offer your clients?
Well, Joe, as I said, I am a sole proprietor. You come to me, you get me. No, staff person or anything. It's me. I do individual tax returns. I do corporate tax returns. I do partnership tax returns. I'll look over organizational documents. I am there to consult you. I'm there to help you start your own business. You name it, I got it.
Who are the types of clients that you see? I know we mentioned some of them earlier in the show as far as types, but can you go back over those, the different types of categories you would work with as far as businesses and organizations?
Sure. As I said, most of my clients have been with me, since the beginning. I've grown a lot, but My clients are, as I said, individuals who maybe are just starting out. I have a lot of those clients, young entrepreneurs with different business ideas and different plans. I also have, and as I've been here for 13 years, a lot of my client base has gotten older. So that they have retirement questions. They have, when should I get Social Security? Those kind of things have come up as the years have gone on.
That's interesting because I'm sure when you started out, you really didn't think about maturing as a business, your business and your practice, along with the businesses of the companies maturing. But that has happened, and you've grown
I
together.
now have people calling me about, I'm out of here. I need a buyout plan. Where it wasn't that way at first. Right.
That's interesting. So how do you do what you do? I know there's some rules that you have to follow, but if you could sum up how you do what you do, how do you do it?
Oh, definitely. Being a CPA, there are rules you have to follow. There's rules and regulations and code and ethics and all of that. But how do I do it? I do it. It gets done. I'm a doer. You need to, ask a busy person if you need things done.
That's a good way to look at it. So we covered a lot of it, but we have to get to the why. Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I started this journey when I was in college. I was a journalism major. That was a little bit too gray for me. A friend suggested you need something more black and white. So here it is, accounting, and it's 30 years later, and it was a good choice for me. I think being a CPA has allowed me a ton of flexibility. I've worked for huge firms, small firms, and clients, and seen all kinds of things. And why do I do it? I actually enjoy it.
This is great.
I do.
Led me into this final
Numbers
question.
are a good thing.
Well, you've led me into this final question when you mentioned 30 years. You're a huge Dave Matthews Band fan, right? This is going to be a little off topic. So if you could pick one
You saw
Dave...
the sticker on my car.
I did see the sticker,
Yes.
and on your phone.
Yeah.
If I could ask you if you could pick one Dave song that sums up either the way you view life or work or whatever, what song would that be?
One Dave Matthews song that is the way I view life. Okay, that's a little bit different. Right now I'm very into I'm Alive. It's actually Kenny Chesney and Dave. I love that duet.
That's great. It's just taking it one day at a time, doing what you got to do to get it done.
And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's about doing it, right?
It is.
That's perfect.
It is.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly. That was
No,
very
really, thank you for having me, Joe.
informative, and I'm glad you were part of the Spotlight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Certified Public Accountant Kelly Batts, the focus of the Spotlight for today's show. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Having a good community conscience is an important part of building solid business relationships in the region where your customers, friends, and families live. Making a real difference through giving can be part of making a living in business. Here's how this week's guest gets involved to make our communities and region stronger. Michael, we talk to so many businesses in and around South Jersey, and many of them have a very strong community connection. Passion Vines Wine and Spirits Company really fits that mold as a strong community partner. I see your name associated with sponsorships and things like that, and I know that takes a toll on people's time, and there's a balance there. So, if you were to give advice to somebody starting out in business, 13 years you've been doing this. What sort of advice would you give to someone that's just getting asked now to get more involved in their community, in their business community, in their giving community? Sure. What sort of advice could you give a new business?
Sure. Well, I think you have to evaluate it in terms of time and money, right? There's some people that will ask for your time, for you to physically be there, and then others will say, hey, listen, can you write us a check?
Yeah.
I think especially starting off in a business, when you're in that birth phase of a business and you're wearing a dozen hats, it's really hard to physically be there, and you don't really have a whole lot of cash because you're just starting off. So I think it's a classic example of being resourceful when you don't necessarily have the resources. And so, you just have to pick and choose. I think at the end of the day, people want to know how much you care before they care how much you know, to use that line. And, so I think you just pick a few that really mean something to you and your business and do something, even if it's little, but consistently.
Yeah, that's great advice. And you know, so many times I think people think they have to give, but if there's nothing left for a new business to give, you can't continue that. So it's not fair to do.
Correct. Listen, by saying yes, there's an enormous power in that. But unfortunately, if you say yes too much, your sustainability becomes threatened. And so I always say, you become someone and your business becomes something by saying yes, but it becomes sustainable by what you say no to.
Now, your hometown, your first base of business, Summers Point, went through another renaissance of such in the community where it's become the ignited Bayfront district, and it's a place where people want to do business and want to be involved in business, and you were a big part of that. Sure. That was a heavy lift for a small group of people that under your leadership, you mentioned that word earlier, you were able to grow it exponentially to the point where I believe there's more businesses involved in that business or association than there are businesses in Summers Point, correct?
True. So if you're talking, so the Summers Point Business Association is what you're referencing.
Yes.
We grew that, probably about 45% over the last few years. But listen, there's a group of founding fathers to which, and I'm a big believer, right, in understanding history and understanding the legacy that has been left, and just and moving it along, right? They left something very special, and again, I looked at it as our obligation in the board of directors to just move it right in the direction of sustainability. Yeah. And listen, Summers Point's a special place, and it continues to be, from economic development to community first, to the leadership in terms of the city council and mayor. They have a vision and they're taking action consistently. So as a business owner and resident of Summers Point, I'm very proud to be there.
I want to applaud you, Michael Bray, on two fronts. One, sharing the spotlight with many other people that have helped the community grow, but you're an integral part of that. And then thanking you for continuing to be an integral part of the community's growth on both the business side and the community side.
My pleasure, Joe. It's an honor.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vines Wine and Spirit Company. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. The crew here at South Jersey Business appreciates those of you that tune into the show each week. From time to time, we receive questions from our viewers, and we always do our best to respond to your inquiries. So it's time for Q&A. And here's this week's question. Dear South Jersey Business, I feel like I spend many of my useful hours at networking and promotional events instead of focusing on selling my products. What can I do to scale back on these actions that I know help my business but affect my ability to focus on sales? That's a good question. There's always a need to market your business and network with the people that need to know what you do. It is one of the most inexpensive ways to get your word out, but it is also one of the most time-consuming. Many people rely on this fully and unfortunately have a tough time actually balancing the sales portion of the business. My suggestion is to think about a balanced approach and draw up a plan that includes both networking and sales activities. Place promotional events that are not expected to result in sales under marketing, and designate events that are designed to create product sales under sales. Budget time in the plan for both, and then stick to that plan. In addition, perhaps explore other forms of low-cost marketing to help get your word out, or hire a team of individuals to act as your street team to do the non-sales promotional events for you. This way, you can spend that time focusing on sales. I hope that helps answer your question. We'll be right back. Well, that's the show. We had a solid business discussion with Ellie and Dan Hagan of Body and Balance, with offices located in Linwood, New Jersey. We also discussed developing a balanced approach to business and even answered a viewer question. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next week. And until then, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.